Going to start recording. Welcome, guys. Tonight, first of all, Super Saturday is this weekend, so hopefully you're registered and going somewhere in your local area. I definitely think that these events can be big. They can be good, and if you bring people, they can help people to see what Beachbody is all about and get introduced to the community. And they don't necessarily have to come as prospects. They can just come to be a part of something inspiring and to work out. It doesn't have to be like pushing them to be business builders. And that can sometimes just introduce them to the community, and they can go on to be great coaches. We're hosting one. I know everybody locally knows, but there's going to be one in the Palm Beach County area. This is the first time we've had one in this area. Usually we have to drive down to Miami. So that's good. Let's see. Coach Summit is going to be, I know it's far away, but we're booked. Cassie and Joanne and myself and Deborah, I think, and Tanasia are all staying in a condo. And I think that Karen Hatfield was the last one that was in that building. Super close to everything and convenient, like walking. I know Steph, we stayed there last year and it was great. I mean, it's a little bit more expensive, but for me, it's worth it. I'd rather not have to like take an Uber everywhere. And, you could, the thing that was cool about it is like, you could walk back in between, you didn't have to like in between when you had those short times, it was close enough where you could just walk back and come. So I think Karen has like 2 more spots in her condo. Steph, you have some more spots, right? In your condo? How many more?
I think I actually have like at least 4.
Okay, 4 more spots.
My team is slow on confirming. Like Amy's confirmed, Chris is confirmed, Callie, and then Stacy needs to send money, but she wants a spot. So I have like at least 3 or 4.
Okay, so Stephanie's gonna have 8 spots, and it's in a 2-bedroom.
But honestly, like with 5 in yours last year, we were never together at the same time. There was like 2 of us at one time showering. Like there was never an issue. You're just not there a lot.
If that's the environment I'm just saying that's the environment that people want. Just so FYI, there's a fold out couch in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath with a full kitchen, with 8 people versus we're going to have 5. And for me, that's max. I don't want to have more than 5. So
I just don't want to spend a lot of money. So people that want to, be cheap about it.
People that want to be cheap, go with Steph's room. People that want to spend more, Karen Hatfield has 2 spots open, and she's going to have 5 in hers. So if you want to, if you don't mind about the price and you don't, the money's not an issue for you, then you can reach out to Karen if you need a place to stay. So, cool, on that. If you are what is that? And be able to cook and eat there. Yeah, we went and got groceries last year, and we just packed up the fridge. We had like yogurts and everything, and it was like, it literally is like a 10-minute walk from everything. Besides, when you have to go to LP Field, it's probably about a 20-minute walk to LP Stadium, LP Field, whatever that was. But it's not bad. So let's see, they might end up calling me because Joanne is like on her way over here right now, I think. But anyway, that's Coach Summit. And again, if you're a new coach and you earn your Success Club your first 3 months, your ticket is paid for. So that's $200 value. And if you haven't registered and you want to just put yourself on the wait list, if you have any interest in going, put yourself on the wait list, because when the ticket becomes available, they will release it. And if you don't want to go at that time, then you can just not pay for it. But if you want to go, then it's better to be on the wait list and get the opportunity than to not have that ticket there. Okay, so last week we went over the challenge group tracking system, which I ended up, I went ahead and we kind of had it to the point where we liked it, but I went ahead and color coded it and made it look pretty. And here it is. So I just put in their name, phone number, email address, goals, date of enrollment, date package received, pictures and measurements. So when they sent that to you, getting started call, because I, again, try to get them on the phone before they start. Week 1 check-in, week 2 check-in, week 3, notify them of their auto ship. And that's when you might want to discuss upgrading the coach depending on where they're at in their journey, and then a closing call. Like I do a call post after the group is complete to talk about what their next step is. So I made my sheet all nice and dandy, and then I put my January challenge here. Same thing, I just repeated it. So I put all my graduate people in there, and now with the graduate people, all I do is just check in on them. I just check in on them once in a blue moon. And I haven't had much luck in keeping my graduate group engaged. I just ask them for feedback. Like Stephanie had said, she tags people and asks, like, she's going to tag them 2 days a week and asks who wanted to be tagged. Well, I asked them, like, what would you guys like to be more interactive? And nobody really responded. So I don't know. My graduate group is not doing too great, but the actual physical 4-week groups are doing really well. So that's that. You can have access to that through the files. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, well, actually, you know what? Before I go into that, does anybody have any questions or anything to share? Oh, there they are. Hang on 1 second. Hello? Yeah, send her in, please. Thanks. All right, Joanna's here. She's running a little behind, I guess. Okay, so I registered, and I'm not sure if you can do this, but I enrolled after the Eric Worre GoPro Mastery event for a membership to be able to access all the events, all the recordings of what happened at GoPro Mastery. And I also have access to his Insanity Bootcamp. So I wanted to start the call with a little bit of personal development, because I know, Stephanie's been asking for this, and I know a lot of people really connected with it. First of all, a lot of the business that you're going to develop over this year has to do with not like the action steps that you take, but the inner game. It has to do with the energy that you're putting out there, whether you're putting out a frustration, negative energy, or angry energy, or pushy energy, or aggressive energy. That's what's going to happen in your business. So I know we talked about this at the end of last year. The energy is everything. The energy that you put out, you're going to get back, truly. So it's, in order to get to the point where you are putting out a good vibe, I feel like you need to work on building your confidence in yourself and building the confidence in the business. So today I listened to there's it's called like a 90-day game plan recordings, and it's called Insanity Bootcamp, like a 90-day game plan. And I listened to the first one, and talked about the 3 stages of your network marketing career. Stage 1 is going from invisible to average. Stage 2 is going from average to a leader. And stage 3 is going from a leader to a legend. So the invisible to average is like when you start recruiting people. So you start recruiting your 5, and then you teach your 5 to recruit 5. And he was kind of like making fun of it, because it's like in the beginning they do that. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that, but it's from the book called Own Your Life. Don Fela, it's the 45-second presentation, and he talks about if you get 5 people and then you teach those 5 people to get 5 people, that's 25. And then if you teach those 25 to get 5, that's 125. And then if you teach those 5 to get 5, that's 525. So he was kind of like making fun of it, because like in the business you come in and you're like, okay, I got my 5, and then you're like, okay, come on, 5, let's go get your 5. And then you kind of push them and pressure them and force them and I've been there, so that's why I was laughing when I was watching it. You're 5 to go get 5, and then you've got your 25, and you're like, okay, I got my 25 now, and you never make it to that 125 level. And the reason he says that you usually don't is because there's a few reasons. He said that it's based on inner game, like your belief, and your daily method of operation. So a lot of people aren't actually engaging in the action steps that they need to make that happen. And an onboarding process for your distributors. So having a rigid, militant onboarding process was his thing. So this is all coming from Eric Worre. Some of the things that he said I didn't agree with, but anyway, I'll just teach you what he said. Okay, so what happens with the going from invisible to average is a lot of people will, like, what will happen is you're the only one working and you're asking people to drag bodies to you. And as long as they keep doing that, then you can keep replacing the people that you're losing. But the problem with that is that after a while, those people that you're pushing and pressuring are going to get tired of you doing that, and they're going to stop. And then, you're going to have to keep replacing those people. So when you go from average to a leader, this is about duplication. So in order to do that, you have to come up with a daily method of operation. He says it can be 2 to 4 things that you ask for people to do every day that helps the process work better. And then the second part is having a very militant, getting started process. And he said a lot of, in his experience, you can see which organizations are being driven by personality and which ones are being driven by the system working. The people that are being driven by the system working, it's just happening and it's flourishing and it's blossoming. And the people that's being driven by personality is it's being pressured and pushed and it's difficult. So he talked about the getting started process, having like a 30 to 60-minute meeting with them, helping them get some success early on, helping them to use the products daily and do daily personal development. And then having some type of third-party tool that they can share and invite people to in order to invite potential distributors to join the business. So having like a video that they can send them to, or having a live webinar or something like that. The third stage is going from a leader to a legend. And this is all about promoting. So it's promoting events, promoting the cause, promoting the mission, having a burst of energy and excitement, and engaging and passion about it, and promoting the benefits of being part of the cause, and revolutionizing this part of the world based on the products that we have. So he correlated going from invisible to average as you're starting the snowball at the top of the mountain. Going to from average to a leader is that you've pushed the snowball off the mountain and starting to roll down. And then going from a leader to a legend is when it's an avalanche. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, legends are the people that, have really, really grown a very large organization. And it's growing on its own now. It's taken on a life of its own. But a lot of people, what he says is, lose sight of getting to that legend part because of they haven't made a decision. So instead of saying, I've made a decision that no matter what happens, it's not going to knock me out. And it doesn't have to be that you want to go to that legend state. You can want to stay, in the leader position, or you can want to be in the, average position. It doesn't mean that you have to go all the way to that state, but you've made a decision that you're going to stay in it no matter what. Once you've made that decision, it becomes easier, because everything that happens to you, it doesn't knock you out. It doesn't make you become all of a sudden a victim and say, oh, this happened and no, now I can't do it anymore. So you're no longer a victim of your circumstances, but making the decision is the hardest part. So there's 3 types of people in the world he talked about: pessimists, realists, and visionaries. Pessimists are the ones that will predict that something bad will happen, and then they'll be like, see, I told you, when it happens. The realists are the ones that set small, little, teeny, tiny goals that they can know that they will always hit, because they don't want to be embarrassed if they don't. So they set reasonable goals, and they don't want their biggest thing is they don't want to be disappointed, let anybody down, or be embarrassed. They want to always look good. So they call it honor, but in reality, it's about fear. So if they miss a goal, they'll actually lower their standards so that they can hit it next time. Always setting them in tiny little steps so they'll never be let down. And I know that some of us on this call can relate to that, because Cassie and I just had a conversation about this. So I was thinking about her. And if you want, we can kind of like talk a little bit about that. We found that in hitting, I don't know, you want to share, Cass?
Sure. How did our conversation go? Basically, I told Marissa, like, I'm not going to be able to hit diamond this month. There's no way. There's no way I can do it. Like, I've already quit before I even started trying. And she basically pointed out to me that, look here, like, you didn't, okay, maybe if you don't, then you don't, but you have to, like, at least try, right? So I was setting myself like this tiny little goal, like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do it. And, you know, but she was like, you're quitting and you didn't even try yet. I'm like, well, what's the harm in trying? You're right. Like, I just was afraid. I just was afraid of failing. So anyway, she called me out and I did it.
You did it. You did it. She was like, I mean, she still had like 3 weeks and she's like, I don't think this is going to happen. I'm like, it's not like you have like 2 days and you're really close. I'm like, I mean, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but you're quitting. Like, and somebody pointed that out in me because we played this game in Team Aloha like 2 years ago where we were like, we're going to double the amount of coaches on our team, or we're going to recruit 50 coaches in like the next 4 weeks. And like, even before it happened, I was telling him, oh, it's not going to happen. You know, we're not going to do it. And he's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? He's like, you're quitting before the game is even over. Like, you haven't even, and he pointed that out in me. And what I realized is that I do that because it's like, oh, if I just don't try, then I didn't fail because I didn't try. But in reality, I already did fail because that's the only way you could fail is by not trying. So then he kind of talked about the visionaries are the ones that, you know, they believe that their current situation is temporary. It's not going to last. They're going to have outrageous objectives and goals, and in reaching for them, they end up higher than if they wouldn't have tried. So it's like what he would say is he would let me go back. So 98% of the people that you onboard into your business are going to be pessimists and realists. There's only going to be 2% of people that are going to be visionaries. So out of every 50 people, there's going to be one that's going to be a visionary. And the 49 other people will be the norm, the common thing, you know, in society. So he would set a goal of getting 500 people to the next event. And at the end of it, like his team would even like make fun of him. They'd be like, that means you want 60 people there. And he's like, well, whatever, maybe we'll only have 60. But if I set a goal of 10, then I might have one. But if I set a goal of 500, then, you know, I might have 60. And it's hard. He talks about how it's hard to stay a visionary because so many people are going to resist what you're doing. So many people are going to go against what you're saying because you're actually going against the grain. You're going against the norm of society. People will try to influence you against it, fight you, hold you back. But don't spend time with those people. Surround yourself with new people who have the same beliefs, the ones that will push you harder than you will push yourself. He made a statement, don't think that you can be stronger than the rest of the group. When you dance with the devil doesn't change. The devil changes you. So they'll actually change you and make you more negative. They'll change what you read, eat, and think. So in order to change the world, you have to be strong and leave them. And, you know, find new people that are going to lift you up, the lifters. So when you haven't made a decision to stay a visionary, you will get lonely in the 2% and you'll become a realist with the rest of the crowd. This is when you lose your ability to be great. So you'll make a few bucks, hang out, make a little bit of money, pay for your products, maybe earn some trips, get some free products, but you'll be letting go of ever getting to the point of becoming a leader or a legend. And if you stay in the realist long enough, eventually you'll become a pessimist. And then you'll be like, I just really love the products and I just want to be a customer. And if they stay there long enough, eventually they may become a cynic where they just say it doesn't even work at all and they quit. And I've seen it. I've seen it happen so many times because the reasonable person conforms to the world. The unreasonable person is the visionary. The unreasonable person is the one that tries to get the world to conform to their viewpoint that is only 2% of what, you know, the population is seeing. So a leader is by definition unreasonable. They are visionaries. People that tell them to slow down, stop making waves, stop being crazy, but they need to be unstoppable and immovable. And once you have two white hot together, he says you can go from 1,000 to 10,000. So all you need to do is find one other person that believes what you believe, and you can go at it together. So and then he talked about the fact that a good gift that people can give you is to outright tell you that you're going to fail, because then you know how bad you want it. It shows you how bad you want it by how bad you want to make that not be true. Then some won't say anything to your face, but you can tell by their, response to you that they believe you're going to fail. And he said that he lets both of those types of people drive him. Well, he lets people that believe in him drive him because he doesn't want to let them down. And he lets the people that think he's going to fail drive him because he wants to prove them wrong, which I don't know that I necessarily believe in that. But he's saying that you can use that as your motivation until you find what really motivates you. So your inner why, your vision for your life. And sometimes as a new coach, it takes a while to get to that point, to know why you're doing this. Then he talks about how success loves speed. He said that radical growth loves speed. And why? Because it's efficient. It's easy to do something faster than slower. A burst of energy to do something quickly expends less energy and yields bigger results. He said it's effective because it creates results right away. It allows you to go intense and deep into your business. It's exciting. It becomes fun once you get past your fear. Once you do it more and more and more, you get over your fear and then you have less excuses. It's attractive. Intensity attracts people to it. So when you're driving in your passion and you're going for it, people want to be a part of that because they see it's exciting and people are wanting to do something different besides what they normally do. They want to find something that excites them. It builds confidence and reduces fear because you become less self-conscious about doing it because you're just doing it over and over and over again. And it creates velocity in your business, which builds momentum. So it's really hard to get that snowball moving. When you're first pushing it, it's like so little and it's like, oh my gosh, it's never going to get bigger. But once you get it into motion, the momentum actually starts to build it much, much faster. So being that it's the beginning of the year, I thought this was really applicable to where we are. It's January and this is the season. So if you really want to push hard right now for, the next 6 months, or say it's 30 days or 90 days, and invest time into your business, into yourself, into being the best person that you can be, who knows where you'll be at the end of this year. And he kind of talks about different levels of the 90-day game plan, which is the thing that I didn't agree with. Was level 1 is a person who wants to do a little bit more than they would have done. So they're part-time. They have no confidence and belief issues, and they want to invest 10 to 20 hours a week for 90 days to create some momentum and maybe generate an income of $1,000 to $2,000 a month. Then he says level 2 is more serious. It's 20 to 40 hours a week for 90 days and eliminating distractions. And level 3 is you're all in, 60 to 80 hours a week for 90 days. I don't agree with that. I don't agree that you should ever do 60 to 90 hours a week in this business. But that's what he did. And that's why he's teaching that. That's what Eric Worre did. And he grew his business extremely fast. And that's what he did. He built, really, he put a lot of intense work and then he built momentum. I think that you can build momentum in your business with 10 to 20 hours a week. I don't think it takes 60 to 80 hours a week to build momentum. And the activities in each of these levels, he says, are the same, but you're just investing more time into it. So anyway, that was my personal development this morning, and I just thought it was extremely applicable to. I didn't know you were on. Joanne's here. Like, I didn't know you were on. Here, you can come sit over here if you want on the couch with me. That's funny. I thought she was like over there doing something. So anyway, I thought that was great. Does anybody resonate with something? Does something resonate with you about that, or? Do you have anything to add?
Well, I just thought of something.
Good. What?
That one time when we did, what was it? One of those classics.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I don't know what happened to me, but I was like, I want to go to LA. I want to go to LA. Like, I had the fire in me. I wanted to go to LA. I barely get my 5 Success Club points most of the time. I get it, But that month, what did I get? 27? I got insane. But I said,
oh, you did. We got a lot.
We got a lot. I put my goal up higher, and when I put it higher, I actually worked harder for it. I had it. I do find that it does make a difference when we do that, right?
I think, that's why they do all these challenges. That's why they do the Fall Classic. That's why they do these because they know people are driven that way. And I'm not saying that you need to invest 60 to 80 hours I'm not saying it's, you choose what is right for you, but maybe open your mind to the possibility of it being bigger than what you thought it could be. That's all. Like with Cassie and hitting diamond. And I mean, we talked about it, and it was, I shared with her that we needed another diamond to go diamond on the team in order for Aloha to be an elite team. And I was like, if you want to push for it, cool, I'll help you. We'll get you there. But if it's not, like, if you're not, whatever, we talked about it. It was a co-creation. And she was like, you know what, I'll try. We'll try. And we were in constant communication. We were, okay, what's going on? How can I support you? And then, through, like I said, 3 weeks out, she was like, it's not going to happen. And I can't even enroll one coach. How am I going to make this happen? And I was like, okay, well, you're already quitting. The game is over. She's like, I need like 6 coaches, and I can't even enroll one. And so then we talked, and she was like, well, I was like, well, who else is in your family? Who are your friends? And she's like, I have this person. She had 4 people that she could enroll, but she closed her mind off because she already failed in her mind. She already quit before the game was even over. And then as it kind of progressed, I wasn't even asking her, she became creative without my support. Like and she was like, oh, I think she was counting on one person and that person fell through. So she's like, I got another person, this person. And she was like she was coming up with creative ways to make it happen, because in her mind, she was going for it. She made a decision that's what, and if she didn't get it, she wasn't going to be like, oh my God, I suck, I didn't do it. And if it didn't happen, it didn't happen, but she went for it. That's the point of the whole share. And I really liked it. Anybody else had any experience in their life with that, where they went for something and maybe even they didn't meet it, but they hit something higher than what they thought they ever could? Nobody? Everyone's like, Tune's like, I did.
I just like the fact that, most of you guys know, or the newer people may not know, I have a lot of issues with belief and fear. And when I was able to get 27 points, because I just said, well, I didn't realize what I was capable of. That's what I found out through that. And that was pretty cool. We're capable of so much more. We just have to just set our goals up high. And if we don't land there, we'll land near a lot higher than we would have expected to. That's been my experience.
So the inner game, my point is that the inner game is the biggest part of this. The inner game is the energy, is the personal development, the belief. And I'd like to start incorporating some personal development in all the team calls, because I think it's important. And I think it's the thing that we allow to go to the wayside the easiest when we're, maybe not having enough time or whatever it is. So the inner game is what's going to help you overcome that fear and build belief. And that's what's ultimately going to help you grow your business. Okay, so that is that. Does anybody else have a share or a question or?
I have a share.
Okay.
I had a call today with Nadia for the first time. We had our first success partner call.
Yeah.
It went really well. And Nadia was telling me things that she's been doing in her business. And she was talking about that she has a list of people that she sees on Facebook, and she's like, I want them on my team. I think that they would be good. I want them on my team. And she has a whole list of them.
Yeah.
But she says that she starts off by friending them authentically. She doesn't talk about Beachbody. She doesn't talk about nutrition. She doesn't talk about fitness. She truly becomes their friend. And she gets to the point where she wants to go and have coffee with them. And she's like, I make these dates with intention. She's like, I don't just go out for coffee with anyone. There's reason behind why I do all the things that I do. But she said, when you really get to know someone, then Beachbody will come into play at some point. Somebody was going through a situation where they needed money, or they didn't like their job. Or I think the more she got to know someone, they were talking about their job one day, and she was like, I freaking hate my job. And Nadia just kind of dug deeper, but they had built a friendship. So they had that trust. And she didn't come out again and say oh, you should do Beachbody. But she just kind of slowly sprinkled it in, but it wasn't at first. And I thought that was like a really good idea, because sometimes like I find people that I'm like, oh, I want them on my team. And I'm like, hey, I see you're really into fitness. Like, you'd be really good, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you kind of approach them like with Beachbody. And now I'm going to, find people that I would like to hang out with that I think would be good coaches, but I'm going to first take that friends approach first and just not even going with Beachbody in my mind, just going like just trying to get to know them. I just thought it was a really cool idea that she does, and it seems to be working for her.
Well, that's exactly what I do. I mean, I have people that are like found me through marketing ads, but the people that I'm like, so the three names that are like conversations that I started, like in the bat, I think it's like the top one, friend requests and conversation started. Those are the people that I'm doing that with. Like, I'm starting conversations with people, but I don't necessarily know like that I want them to be a coach on my team. I'm seeing where the friendship goes. I'm like interviewing them to qualify them to see if they're going to be a good coach, if we're going to have a good energy together, and, if it's someone that I want to work with. But then the people that are enrolling usually that month are people that I've spoken to previous months. So that's why it's like so important to always have people in your pipeline. Because when you're talking to those people, you don't have that, oh my God, I need to enroll them right now because I need my Success Club points. Because you already have people that you talked to last month that you can, keep those conversations going, and they're almost at enrollment. So it's having people in all different phases. And those people that you're just starting those conversations with and befriending, those are people that are going to be probably enrollments like months later. And then you never have that pressure on you. Like, oh my God, I need them to close them right now because I need those 2 points. Then it's like, that's not a good way to work your business. So I like that. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. Got a little excited there. Okay. So let's honor our time. Let's go, and I'm going to share this document, and I'm not by no means saying that you have to use it. It's a tool. If you want to use it, it's available. And some people might love it. People that love spreadsheets will probably love it. Let me open this up. Wait, it's under tracking, I think. Yeah. All right. This is something that corporate passed on to me. And when I was working with my corporate exec, and there's a bunch of different tabs down here. And it's just, this was more for them to be able to communicate with me about like, okay, so entering my name and all that in there. But I think this box is important to be filling out. So it's going to change. Your why is always changing, but fill out the why that you have right now. It's a great time to be starting this because it's the start of a new year. So you can set your intention and fill out your why for what you think is going to be this year. By the way, this is for anybody. This is available, so you can access it. I actually put a link to it in the team group. So if you want to look at it on your computer, just go to the team group, and it's on the team call. I put the link there on the team call information. And then here is what is more the business tracking. So it's a weekly report where you can fill in, and like I said, this is just a tool, and you can take it and you can change it, or you can make it however you want it. But it's for those available that want to use something like this. So simply, this week I want to be accountable for, you could put your goals in there of what you want to do this week. And it's done week by week. Did I keep this commitment? So, and maybe you can figure out why you didn't, and you can assess the situation. Your goal for how many days you're going to drink Shakeology, number of workouts you're going to get in, number of hours you're going to do personal development, number of hours you're going to work on your business, number of new contacts you're going to make, number of invitations to challenge groups, coaching, number of customers enrolled, number of new coaches, and number of Success Club points. This is kind of like the old business activity tracker that Beachbody had, but I don't know. I like it. I think it's good. If you want to track this information, this tool is amazing. So right here, you can put your income in for each week. So at the end of the week, you can put in, okay, I made 1,000 in my first CBC. I made 2,000 in my second, which is probably not going to happen. And I have it here, so it's totaling out your total. And then Most people, nobody has a second CBC at this point besides me, I guess. But anyway, it's there. It's available. Some people do have spouses, so they can put their spouses in there and they can keep track of their income every week. And then here's the left leg volume. So maybe you had 10,000 ATV on your left leg, and maybe you had 2,000 in your spouse's. And again, it totals it over there. And then right leg is maybe you have 5,000 in your right leg, and maybe you have 1,000, and then it totals it. And then if you want, what was this total here? I think was, you could add these two up. So 12,000 in your left, 6,000 in your right, and there's your total ATV. How I connected with my existing customers and coaches, you can just write a little note in there. Key business activities I did this week, or maybe this could be something that could help you plan for your following week. You could write, okay, these are the things that I want to do. I want to connect with 5 new people for a challenge group. This is something that you can use as a planning tool and as a tracking tool. And then any other notes that you want to put in there. Maybe you have some projects you want to work on. Make a video for Coach Basics or something. You know, you can put what you want to get accomplished in there, and you can make little what do you call it? Like little divots towards your goals, as opposed to a lot of people, I don't know about you guys, but I tend to like put so much on my plate. I have all these things that I want to get done, and I'm going to do them all in one week. And then I end up doing nothing because I'm so overwhelmed by like all the things that I have to do. So what I found is like, I just focus on like, okay, this week I'm going to do the social media Facebook ads training. And then next week is when I'm going to make videos. So I try to just focus on one project that's like outside of my normal business each week, so that I don't get myself so overwhelmed. And I do much better on the weeks that I actually do that. Not that I do it all the time consistently, but I do find that it helps me stay more focused. Then here's just a little goals. You can write your goals and when you want to accomplish it and why it's important to you. And this was for our weekly calls. And this is actually to track your team. So you can talk about, like, you can put all your, active coaches, what rank they are, who are you working with, who's in your leadership pipeline, and you can keep tabs on all the coaches that you have in your organization. Sarah Lenore actually posted a video in the Finish Like Strong Like a Boss video that was really good about color coding, her coaches and which leg they're on. And it was actually, her system was really incredible. I'm going to start using it. And when I get that into a spreadsheet, I'll share it with you guys too. But that's all I have for now. So has anybody else, just, looking at that, does anybody have any suggestions as far as improving that, or does anybody have any other way of tracking that's worked really well for them? What do you think of it, Michelle? You're the spreadsheet queen.
I really like it. Like, at first glance, I like the grid it has with the income, the left volume, right volume, all of that adding up kind of automatically as you put stuff in. Yeah, I wonder if there's a way to kind of carry over things from month to month, or keep from entering the same person multiple times. But I don't know. I mean, I like it. I think it has a lot of detail in it.
Yeah, this was not my obviously I'm not I didn't make this. All I did was change it from 2015 to 2016. I changed all the weeks. But I was like, Michelle's going to like this.
Yeah.
So maybe you can make it, maybe you can improve it somehow. Like, you can make it so that it carries over.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you have to necessarily put in like my goals every time. It might be the same every week, or maybe it's not. I don't know, but it's just something that is a tool.
Right.
Anybody else have questions or want to share something that they've been using that's working well for them to keep track?
I mean, I'll share again if nobody else will.
You always share. Good.
So something else that Nadia and I talked about, Nadia is like my polar opposite. And so I'm learning a lot from things that she's doing. But she has like a file on all of her new coaches. Because I was asking her, like, she feels that she's not good at recruiting, but she is good at making diamonds, apparently, because she's doing really well. And so I'm like, what are you doing to make all your diamonds? And she told me that she has like a little file folder for all of her new coaches. And she has a checklist that she's going to send me. And she does everything by hand. She likes to write things down. But this is something that I'm going to start implementing because, I mean, I have a lot of new coaches right now. And when I want to, I feel like I can recruit, but I feel like I could be better at their starting off process. So I think I'm going to start making these little files for them, just like little manila envelopes or whatever. And, she just tracks like, we talked this week, what did we talk about? And, goals. I mean, stuff that Marissa has done with me, I just don't track anything. And I don't know, it just seems so simple. Like, I love spreadsheets and all, but I just know I won't do them. And so the fact that Nadia was like, yep, I just have a little folder for each one. Every time we talk, pull it out. I just update what we talked about, what we're going to talk about, where are they at in my list of things that they need to know and do as a new coach. And so I think I'm going to start doing that to make sure that my coaches aren't slipping through the cracks. I mean, like right now I have 3 coaches that are like taking off and it's our busy season and it's like they're taking off before they can learn anything. So I think that'll help me with them.
Yeah, your team is exploding. Well, maybe you can share that checklist once Nadia shares it with you. Maybe you can share it in Aloha. So if anybody else, it's a handwritten one, or it's a.
Well, no, she has because I was telling her today, I was like, man, I feel like I need like a checklist. Like, have I talked about how to go Emerald? Have I talked about discount coaches? Have I talked about signing up for Summit? And I was like, I feel like I need a checklist. And she was like, I have one. So I haven't looked in our little group that we have, her and I, but
Okay.
I'll look. He was like, I made one. I'll give it to you.
I was planning on creating a spreadsheet for getting coaches started process. I had the new coach process that was like a document and was like, okay, first you do this on the getting started call. Well, so next week's call, I was going to talk about elite tracking for anybody that has any desire to hit elite at any point in their Beachbody career or wants to know anything about it. I'm just going to show you how you can track it. And then the following week is when I plan to do the getting started process of like what I do with my coaches and make it just like the challenge group spreadsheet. But instead of, the challenge groups, check-ins and all those things, it's going to be for coaching. So it's in the works. It's brainstorming right now in my brain. It's gyrating. It's getting ready to come out and be on paper.
I do want to add about success partners because something that you always would point out to me when I'm like, I have a new one. You're like, wow, they're just like you. And you would point out that we had like a lot of similarities in the success partners that I kept, feeling like I wanted to work with. And I was like, yeah, like that's why I feel like we really connect. We're like the same person, whatever. But I do feel that Nadia is actually like the one because she is so opposite of me. So for anyone that wants a success partner, I feel like it's going to work for us. Like she's very organized and I'm not. Nutrition is more of her passion. Fitness is more of mine. But I think it's nice to find someone that is your opposite because I really think that she's going to push me this year. Because like at the end of our call, she's like, okay, so I'm writing it down because she's so organized. She's like, I'm writing down, what are you going to work on? What am I going to hold you accountable to next week? And like she tracks everything. And I'm just not like that. But I kept finding partners that were kind of my personality and it's like I was working with myself, which wasn't working.
I think you have that inside of you, Steph. I think one day you're going to be that person that's going to be like, okay, I'm writing it down. And then you're going to have somebody else that's seriously, you have that in you. You just haven't developed it yet.
But I think Nadia's going to bring it out of me.
Good. That's awesome. You have it in you. You have it in you, girl. I'm glad it's working out for you guys. That makes me happy. Does anybody have any questions?
I did make a checklist of that getting started thing that you did, Marissa.
Yeah, you made a checklist?
Yeah, I made a checklist for that. So it's just, it's on my Google Doc. So I don't know if you want me to share that.
Yeah. Yeah, share that in
And, yeah, I mean, it's the stuff that you made before, and I made a checklist. You know, like what are the steps that you need to do with a coach when you get started, and whether you put it on paper or stick your spreadsheet, that you can just keep it that way. I guess it works.
Yeah, definitely share that. I think there's some things that were left out of that process. Like I think I've kind of changed it a little bit. So maybe we can add. Yeah, maybe we can add some things to it. Like, for example, like I have them as an apprentice coach in the groups now, which I didn't have in there before. And then I have them in a group thread, all the apprentices together. And then I have them assigned a success partner early on. And those are things that I know aren't in that process that I'm doing now, that are like really, I think success partners have really helped. I have like a couple of new coaches that are really appreciating having somebody else to be connected with as opposed to just me. And then focus groups, which is what we're going to be starting this month.
Don't we have a thing tomorrow at 12?
No, it's the following week because Michelle, I think, is having surgery.
Okay.
I think we said that, I don't know which group are you the diamond one or which?
Focus group on different ideas to do Zoom.
Yeah, but which is your name, the Diamond Squad or something like that? I think
bring the bling.
Yeah, I think we are actually doing that. I think I looked at it today, didn't I?
Because I wrote it down on my calendar that day. So.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I did. I got it messed up then.
So we are having one tomorrow?
I'll have to look at that.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Okay. And then I had another question for everybody.
Shoot. Yeah. Okay.
I've been trying to post videos in my YouTube upload, and it's not letting me. I keep getting this notification from YouTube. It's not like a virus or anything like that, but it says come January 16th, we're no longer going to be able to upload in YouTube. You have to upload it from your computer. Have you guys received anything like that?
I upload from my computer.
Oh, okay. Because I just upload straight from YouTube. So.
I mean, I upload the video from my computer, but on YouTube, like youtube.com.
Yeah, no, I just make mine right there and live. There's a little upload icon.
Oh, you can probably just make the video using your computer camera instead.
Okay. I just was like, phone. Well, that's another thing with stupid data and all that crap.
Oh.
Yeah, that's actually.
You should be able to use your computer camera if the YouTube one isn't working.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that.
It's crazy because I was rolling right along making videos and setting monthly goals for that, and then bam, started getting that, and I was like, what the heck? So.
Yeah, I use the computer camera. I think I use actually, I don't know what I use on here, photo booth or something. Yeah, I use photo booth on the Mac, and then I use my iPhone, and then I just upload it from there. You can upload it directly from your phone too, YouTube.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all. Thank you.
And the one thing that I thought of and I wanted to I shared with Starlene that we were talking earlier today is I think that I'm going to revamp the business activity tracker for new coaches. Like you can have one that's for new coaches and one that's for experienced coaches. And just instead of giving them the bat with all the names, like the boxes, just give them that second page that has the checklist of like personal development, drinking your shake, doing your workout, checking into your team group, checking into your challenge group, and then checking into the coach, and then put a box for like social media, posting 3 times a day. And the rest of the stuff, leave that off until they've already established the habits of doing those things, and then introduce the three names. Because I think what's happening is a lot of brand new coaches are getting completely overwhelmed by that. And they're like, oh my God, I have to talk to all these people. Like, I'm never going to be able to do this. Even though I say, like, you don't have to do it all, they feel like they do. So instead of giving them that second page, we'll just give them the checklist. And then social media posting. So we can start getting the habit of posting on social media. And then that will be the bat for new coaches. Sound good? Starlene really liked it. Cool. Yeah. All right. Everybody's not.
That's like a good idea. Here, I'll respond.
What?
Sounds like a great idea.
I think it's
But then
good.
they also have to talk to people, though, right?
What?
They also have to write, though. If
Well,
they wanna,
I mean, they'll be starting to talk to people, but then they won't have to feel like, oh my God, I have this crazy big huge, I don't even know what this is, and all these boxes to fill out, and oh my God, I can't do this. I have all, and I think it's gonna create less overwhelm for new coaches. And then once they've gotten established and they've gotten through the training and they've started posting on social media and making it a habit of checking in on their team group and doing the coach training, then they can start, keeping track using that other page.
I like it.
You guys know what I'm talking about, right? The page that just has like
yeah.
All right. Because I mentioned to Kim Carver too from corporate Beachbody. I was like, oh, what do you think of this? And I had him look over that, the Coach Whisperer. I had him look over our bat, and he's like, I really like it, but I've been thinking that there should be different bats for each level. So I was like, that's a really great idea. And then I just kind of over the last few days thought, we need to get rid of that. It's not, new coaches aren't at that level yet. They're just check marks, and starting to post on social media.
Well, I have a suggestion. So what if it's that thing that you're saying, plus maybe just the first 3 invites of the month, or the first, just to cover their Shakeology, because that's part of the whole, the first 30 days, if you want to cover your Shakeology thing. Maybe just get those 3 people, because part of you're going to train them and you assign someone up.
Okay, so adding in, just putting like 3 invites in one.
Yeah, you're not going to have the whole name thing, but you can just have like your first 3 that month. Get those 3. Go find those 3 people to cover your shake.
I'll figure out how to get that in there. Figure out how to incorporate. I mean, what I'm doing is having them use the hot market script, like to start talking to their first few, to get their quick wins. Like the new coaches are using that hot market script. People that want to and are talking to their friends and family and, getting a couple of yeses right away. So I can put that in there.
Yeah, just something basic like that. And then they can duplicate that each month. Slowly.
I like it. We'll keep working. We'll keep working on our system until it's just simple and people get on board and they feel like I can do this, and they don't feel like so overwhelmed. I think these focus groups will help because these focus groups are going to be smaller and the chance for like people to really get together with creative energy and really help us get this process down. All right, ladies. Thanks so much for getting on the call. Everyone good?
Share.
Okay.
We
have 4 minutes.
All right. So you talk about always having like these apprentice coaches, and I've taken on that role too. Like when I have new coaches, we divvy up everything and they each have their own like thing to do in the group.
Mm-hmm.
This month I am having them share their story.